Good evening. Welcome to the Dugout. Thank you for all your comments and interest that we have seen in the last 16-18 hours after India's loss in yet another ODI series, and those are worrying signs. And thanks for all the love and hate whichever came our way. But the fact of the matter is that what I can gauge from all of your comments, and whether in the live chat or super chats or comments on our videos, is that you are as concerned and as bothered as we are. Of course, the finger pointing could be different, or the reasons attributed to the loss could be different. We may be looking at it differently, but end of the day, your interest in our shows does reinforce our belief that you are as worried about this bilateral loss as we are, and as I assume our coach would have been too, considering he wasn't happy in Australia, so would have obviously not been happy here. Unfortunately, we could not get to hear his comments. Why do you think that may have been the case?
Avoiding the heat.
I don't think Gambhir is that kind of a
because
guy.
But please, he came out. Did he come out after Australia? He didn't. Those comments of his, which we keep referencing, came in a BCCI produced video. When was the only time
but he still came for the presser, if I'm not mistaken. Yes,
we'll have to go back and check that. I don't think he came.
Even I have a feeling he did.
He did.
Because we were
those
again,
comments that you're talking about may have come in the video, but he came there as well.
Because I remember he was.
Because I'll tell you what he said at that time. I'll tell you. I think he made a reference to that Asia
Champions Trophy
or something.
No, this was in the middle of the South Africa series.
No, that was again another mention.
It was reinforced.
Asia Cup.
It was reinforced. Okay.
because
that
twice,
time it was Champions Trophy or something. I remember.
Let me just check.
It was 100%. I remember.
Because people have been pointing out on Twitter, right?
It was.
That he's been blowing his own trumpet, and it's happened twice.
No, I'm not getting into whether he's blowing his own trumpet or not. I think he made a valid point also that they won also under him. No denying that. But he said it after Australia also, and he's said different things after South Africa as well. But he has been coming for press conferences after tours. So I go back to that question. Why do you think?
See, again,
because the facing the heat doesn't seem to be the because Gambhir is not like
there's
that.
no set rule per se that it always has to be the coach.
No rule.
However, after a momentous sort of a victory or defeat, whatever, if it's like a watershed moment sorts, it's a day of importance as it was yesterday, then you do expect there to be the coach or the captain to be there. That is what we've seen in but that's what also the expectation is. Every press conference comes with its own expectation. Yesterday's expectation was much the same. Also, this is exactly what we've seen previously as well, that it is either the captain or the coach across formats.
Coach has been coming.
Coach has been coming. That has been especially true in the Dravid era, and in the early parts of the Gambhir era also continued.
Shastri also, if you remember.
Yes, Shastri also after the series would more often than not be the person.
They've been very less fun press conferences since Shastri left.
But
Dravid had his moments, but sure.
But that apart, why?
I'm still standing by what I said. I don't think he wanted to face the seat.
If I can hazard a guess, I think it is primarily because there has been a conscious effort not to have him. I know that, and this I can tell you with great degree of certainty, because I'm aware of a few things, that after that press conference that happened, the South Africa press conference, the BCCI did get into a huddle and realize that at that situation, one, of course, you had to deal with the loss. And then that press conference only added fuel to the fire, and then there were those references to IPL owners and things. So it got a bit out of control, BCCI thought, and I can confirm that. So apparently they got in subject matter experts, communication experts, to go and speak to the relevant parties. Now, that much I can confirm, that happened after that press conference. Now, the fact that the coach has not come for the press conference is a clear connection to that. But I don't know whether this decision was taken then by the BCCI that let's not have him, because it will only, snowball the thing into a bigger debate, especially after a loss, or whether it was on coach's own accord where he said that, okay, fine, if you're not happy with how it is, I don't have any filters, I am going to be honest, and if you think me not going will avoid it, so I choose not to. So it could have, that I can't confirm. So it could have been a call by the coach himself after the whole, post-mortem they did after that press conference, or the BCCI then politely said that, you
Don't
go
go.
ahead. I don't know that,
Well,
but it is a fallout of that. South
I
African
agree
press
with you. Well, there's every chance that Gambhir also could have said, okay, not the right time, I'm not going for this, whatever. However, I have
not because it's not the right time. It's because of the fallout of South
follow. Yeah, exactly. And then he knows then again what kind of a press conference then it would come out to or turn out to be. However, I have a feeling about the former bit that you said. I think a conscious decision by the BCCI perhaps, because the daggers, shouldn't actually be saying the daggers. The swords were out yet again. The daggers have been out for a while now. I think yesterday would have again been an instance of very sharp swords being directed at Gautam Gambhir. And you didn't want that, especially because there's too less time now for the World Cup. You want to get into that zone, and there's been too much criticism across formats now. You were very close in the previous T20I series as well. That series could also have gone either way. There's been a lot that's happening as well, and not to forget, when you look at the rear view mirror, you see that that whole South Africa press conference, the way that it went. This was no time for you to be again putting the coach in the mix and perhaps inviting more headlines.
No, that is established. So who's taken the call?
I have a feeling the BCCI.
Same. Gautam Gambhir doesn't seem the type who'd want to step away from that duty if he can help it. I think the BCCI took it. That's a hypothesis.
But as I said, it is that much I know that it is a fallout of that South African press conference. Now, whether the coach himself said, okay, if that is what you feel, let's say if I'm the coach and you guys have raised concern, I'll say, okay, if that is what you feel, okay, I'm not going to attend. Because don't expect me
To be
because communication experts may have said, na sugar coated, be this. He may have said, don't expect me to be like that. If I go, I'm going to speak my mind out. Then I'd rather not go. That could be, or the BCCI themselves are that just avoid it now. Why do you want to add on to it? And he's said, okay, fine. If you don't want me to, I won't. Either way, that's happened. We'll get to our discussion about the Indian team. What we're going to do today is going to be bringing you a different perspective from your point of view. So we're going to take some of the comments that we received on our live post show yesterday. And based on those comments, we'll have our discussion points today. That's going to be the format of the dugout today. But before that, there's also a big development which we've been covering since last night, with Pakistan stepping into the whole Bangladesh versus ICC scenario, with new development, first from Bangladesh's point of view, where they're expecting a Group B change, to now the ICC's point of view, where they're saying nothing doing, no changing of group, nothing. You decide by Wednesday or Tata bye-bye. Where do you think this is heading? We're just about 2 days away.
See, there's only now at least we know for certain that A, you're 2 days away from getting a final decision, and 2, you know what those decisions could be. My gut feeling says that they will end up traveling.
Bangladesh will come to India.
I don't think they can afford to miss out on an ICC tournament.
Okay.
That's what my gut feeling says.
Sure.
Of course, I could be surprised because again, now that this is not a BCB call, we know that much. It's a governmental call. They could very well say that no, don't play. But I think that would then I think they'll come. Because now the threat is there. In fact, it's not even a threat. They're basically being told you will be replaced by another team basis rankings, and that team is, from what we understand, going to be Scotland.
Yeah.
I think they'll eventually say no, fine. You've come this far. You again, to quote that Linkin Park song, I tried so hard, got so far, in the end it didn't even matter. Fine, I'll come and play. It's better than not playing a World Cup.
Okay.
I think since here's a situation which has stubborn politicians involved. This has far been a cricketing drama. This has been more politics than cricket that we've seen, and I do see again politics prevailing over cricket. In such a scenario where the instances of atrocities on minorities hasn't stopped, there were again instances that were reported a couple of days back. Looking at everything and looking at the kind of fight or the kind of stubbornness you've seen from the Bangladesh government, and I won't say the board here because it's the government and the board's just the means of the fight that we are seeing over here. I probably feel Bangladesh could be looking at not traveling to India for this World Cup. It's going to be seismic when that thing happens. Also, just a personal feeling, I don't think India are also ready to host Bangladesh as a nation. as a society, perhaps I fear for those. I know the security threat has been medium to high, that's been told, and that's it's nothing alarming. It's the same that's been reported to the other teams as well. However, I do feel that there is an element of unsafe, this thing for the traveling fans. There's an element of unsafety for them. There are going to be so many other people as well who are going to be representing Bangladesh, and I fear for that. There have been instances in the past where the tiger's been torn apart, the mascot thing, whatever. The fans, there's been some bad blood between India and Bangladesh fans. Right now, though, with what's been happening politically, I also don't think we perhaps are in the best position to be playing host to Bangladesh. There is too much that needs to be resolved, and there's a lot of heat right now. Perhaps it'll be the best for both the nations. For cricket loses in this, but Bangladesh, I think, could be deciding for its own players' safety, while
so
assurances.
Bangladesh is not coming, and then Scotland joins and the tournament goes ahead.
Yeah.
That's your thing. Oh, I think we're going to have three different views, because, I mean, to Shane's point, I doubt Bangladesh is going to change that stance because their government is involved. So I think they might even take the hit of not playing the tournament. That's one. So I don't think they're changing their stance. In fact, I think, on the contrary, ICC may still be a bit more moderate and change their stance if push comes to shove, considering they're not answerable to any government as such, right? Private entity. If you want the tournament to get ahead without too much complication, they can take a hard stance as well. I'm not denying that. ICC can, and probably eliminate it and bring Scotland, as they have kind of told Bangladesh. That is also a possibility. But I think in terms of anyone being a bit more considerate and moderate, it could still be ICC compared to Bangladesh. I think where they are at the moment, I'm not too sure that Bangladesh will take a step back, whether they play the tournament or not. Again, now to the ICC's point of view, I think they'll have then two options: one to go ahead with Scotland, and one to maybe last moment change Bangladesh's game, which is also looking highly unlikely with the kind of time that's left. They've already told Ireland that group changing is not happening. What I foresee a hectic Wednesday for us, where it could be a logjam with both parties not relenting. And what is making this matter now more complicated is that, listen, as soon as you eliminate a team, which seems to be the course that ICC is going to take, eliminate a team, it's going to happen for the very first time. It's never happened that you've chucked a team out. You've had teams not wanting to participate, but they would not be chucked out of the tournament. Some have even gone on to play semi-finals, this and that. No, because you just lose 1 point or so. But the format of this tournament is such a chuck out a team that is going to cause a massive earthquake in the universe of cricket. And now what makes it interesting is now that Pakistan have thrown their hat into the ring. Of course, they've had their bitter times with India in the recent past, and obviously clearly waiting for an opportunity to get back. And of course, you'll say this is ICC, but it's of course represented by Indian representatives. So this is their chance of getting one back. And now that, yesterday I think Geo News reported that Pakistan government, and now because I think it's even above PCB as such, and in their case anyway, PCB,
it's the same.
Yeah, so where the government is said, because again, it's as they call in Bombay, a chance pe dance, they're also waiting, na? So they're also saying we will reconsider. My point is, if it does reach that stage, I don't know whether Bangladesh doesn't change their stance, ICC doesn't change their stance. ICC says Bangladesh, you're out, replaced by Scotland. Pakistan jumps in, Bangladesh is not playing, they are also not playing. I'm just saying there is still a possibility you can go ahead without a Bangladesh and a Pakistan. But all I'm saying is that this will not be a normal scenario. This is going to be an event of massive proportions. This is going to get ugly in the cricketing world. I agree that India still remains the powerhouse. India will have more countries on their side. But even then, you're looking at a world war kind of a situation in the cricketing universe, which it's never seen before. So I'm just saying, everyone brace for impact.
You've basically reached a point where you're designating nations officially. Look, it's always been an unwritten rule that you've got the so-called big three, with Pakistan perhaps being, from a financial clout perspective, one rung lower. And then you've got the rest of the cricketing world who are fighting for scraps. That's been the reality. Let's be fair about it. Now you are putting that out there that we could make a concession for Pakistan. We definitely made a concession for India, but Bangladesh, we're not going to do it for you. That is where things will...
See, you could have still, I mean, for a lack of a better word, bullied Bangladesh. I mean...
That's what you're doing now, right?
Yeah, no, you could have still.
I
Had there
think the
been no
timing-
Pakistan chipping in.
But I think the timing of it
you
is...
could have done is like kick Bangladesh out, and then of course they would have been upset and they would be, saying that we'll take this up, this and that. But that process could have happened simultaneously while the tournament is happening, and you could have dealt with it. But if now suddenly, if it is no empty threats, I don't know how Pakistan is viewing it. Is it just empty threats? They're seeing it now. Whether they'll follow it up on, I don't know. But in case they do, you as ICC, can you afford to?
Or this could also be, as we say for politicians over here, this could just be mere kite flying happening on the other side.
I don't know.
Because
this is about be prepared for the worst.
Exactly. I'm just saying this is the time. What is Pakistan doing right now? I'm saying let's assume it to be true. This is not how cricketing minds think. This is now politics taking over. This is about cashing in on the opportunity.
But Harshit,
how is it that I can
took over long ago?
Yeah. How is it?
When hybrid model came, when
that's where politics came into it.
Where references to aircrafts and Sindoor started, politics had come there.
Exactly.
I'm afraid
politics has entered the chat a long time ago, and it ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
Yeah.
So in that sense, we shouldn't be worried about politics entering. It's there. That is the lived reality of the sport now. That's a fact. And that's true for a lot of sports, by the way. But I think cricket gets it more because it happens to be caught in the logjam of subcontinental tensions. And everywhere now there is volatility. So the fact of the matter is...
And because the ICC isn't as powerful as the FIFA is or other global sports governing bodies.
Correct.
Maybe
it makes a difference.
We've said it so many times. ICC is hell-bent on proving that they are powerful, and they want to show the rest of the world.
Yeah, but they took a stance against the weaklings. That's not power. That's bullying.
Yeah, but I mean the other way of looking at it is that somewhere they had to put their foot down.
So this is where the line is drawn, basically.
Maybe. Yeah. Anyway, this is something that we'll keep following up. We haven't heard the last of it. As I said, brace for impact. I think whichever way it happens. It's not going to be, I don't think it'll be sorted out very easily.
Especially now with the time. Well, never mind Wednesday. You can hear all sorts of things coming out tomorrow. Tonight. There's plenty of time.
Yeah, no, that could be, let's say from Bangladesh's point of view, saying that listen, we've decided not, those things. But eventual call, whatever happens, because ICC has to take that call.
Wednesday.
Will happen Wednesday.
Wednesday's giving me feels of, Ekta Kapoor soap opera last day.
No, it could be like, you remember our crazy coverage of that Pakistan team? Will they go and play the
bus
match
UAE.
or not? Bus, use that. I think
it could ape that.
Okay, let's dive back into the topic at hand, and we're looking at India's second bilateral ODI series lost in the last 3 series that they've played. As I said, what we're going to do this time is actually take a cue from your comments that came in our match point last night, and then base our discussion around that. Let's start with JB Goan. He says not only Gambhir, the whole coaching staff has to be changed. Thoughts?
I mean, we always talk about Gambhir, the coach, basing his entire India coaching experience on what worked for him in the IPL. That applies to his coaching staff as well. Morning. Come on, old boy. Come on. Right. Tendo, come along for the ride. Abhishek Nair, you're good. Until you allegedly leak news. Then you can go back. The entire coaching staff of KKR got pillaged. Aside from Chandu Pandit, who was a coach only in name, you took everyone. Then you were rebuilding. Then you got a new bowling coach, you got a new fielding coach, you almost had a new batting coach till Abhishek Nair miraculously became available. So, it's the same thing. Is that coaching staff at the level required? No disrespect to a Morne Mockle, no disrespect to a Tendish Carter. All of them were good players in their day. But Mockle's previous coaching stints don't really leave much to be this thing. He wasn't considered good enough to coach Pakistan as a bowling coach.
No, but I mean, during his Pakistan stint, there were times where Shaheen Shah Afridi and all were doing well. I think the Pakistan
It's
debacle
dysfunctional
happened
for
because
sure.
everyone, Gary Carson is not a bad coach. No, he couldn't.
Neither was Gillespie
Yeah.
for that
Gillespie,
matter.
yeah.
Yeah, so again, it's just that the whole setup is such that nobody could last. So I wouldn't take that. I think Moni Walker was a fantastic bowler. So,
Amazing. I loved him as a bowler.
So I don't know whether this coaching staff is not good enough or not. And then to your point about Gambhir taking them, but that's also pretty normal, right? Every coach, you look at it in football as well.
Yeah, they always
try
have
to
their
take
own assistants.
people.
Yeah.
And that happens with a lot of other cricket. Greg Chappell came with his own people. Gary Carson came with his own people.
Duncan
You
Fletcher.
take
I
them.
think
So
something
people
is-
that you have belief in, you'll take. So I'm not going to hold that against Gautam for
Yeah.
taking guys that he had worked with and they'd achieved success to take them again. Pretty
My
easy.
point
It's
is-
very simple. Again, day-to-day life, isn't that something that we see in corporate life as well? The team leader goes certain enough, 2-3 people that
seen it.
Yeah, it happens. It happens all the time.
No, because there's a comfort level.
Exactly,
of-
there's
Yeah,
a comfort level. Exactly, something
You
will just be done
understand.
unsaid. Simple as that. There is a working relationship. Times it's good. At times it's strong. At times it's somewhere in the middle. At times it's far away from that. If it's far away from that, then you don't get that person on board to the new ship. But if it is, then you do get it.
Correct.
So that's how it works. And I don't blame Gambhir for that. I cannot spend 6 months relationship building with somebody and I'm trying to build my trust. If I have somebody I absolutely trust already, I know his methods, it's gotten me success as well. Nothing wrong that I see.
But my point is now that if it's not working, will you just sack Gambhir if you're going that route? Do you just remove the head coach or does the whole coaching staff go? It's like when in football, since we mentioned that example, when a manager
come to
gets
that,
sacked,
yeah.
compensation is paid to all of his coaching staff also, and the new manager brings in his own people.
Yeah.
Okay, next bit is Shivnath, and he says, I dare if this team wins the test series in New Zealand later this September.
You have that's a dare no one is taking. I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
I have no faith in them winning in New Zealand. Sorry.
No
But
chance.
what are the kind of pitches you're getting in New Zealand? Like if you get the old New Zealand pitches, I understand
You get very
At the
sporting
moment-
pitches.
At the moment, I don't have trust in myself as a nation. I don't know Test cricket whether I can survive on home soil. How is that I even think of New Zealand? Yeah.
And New Zealand, see, even in a best case scenario, you get sporting pitches. So the ball will do something. You can apply yourself, knuckle in, the grounds aren't very big, and after day 3 or so, it tends to get a little easier to bat. You tend to get very good results in New Zealand. And results in the sense that not 2 days, 3 day kind of results.
Yeah, last
Do
one
I-
results also we've seen there.
Much to our own peril. to that point, can we then expect them to go the distance? I don't trust this team to go the distance. I don't.
Yeah, but
Lottery tests are a different
See,
matter.
if they're helpful conditions, and I often say that I agree that I think, winning in New Zealand is anyway tough. Past Indian teams have also.
Your own head coach will.
No, completely agree. Completely agree. It's anyway been a very tough place to go and win. Just like South Africa, we find it very tough. And, New Zealand are pretty good in their own conditions. I think Indian bowlers also, if you give them helpful condition, now you use Bumrah also pretty often. I think Siraj, helpful conditions. These are good bowlers. So if you're going to give conditions helping fast bowlers, then New Zealand will also find it tough. But I agree. I'll have to give a marginal edge to New Zealand in terms of because home advantage, conditions favor. India also, as you said, has had a few setbacks at home, even though they drew the series versus England. But now I'm not reading too much into it. Looking at how England were against Australia in the Ashes.
Looking at how bad England were and looking at the kind of
Yeah.
conditions you got in England, you were getting flat pancakes.
Yeah.
You'll not get that in New Zealand. You'll get pitches where the bowlers will get assistance. I trust their batters a lot more than I would trust ours to navigate these conditions.
And there's no Rohit Virat.
Exactly.
Not that they were having a great time in Test cricket, but yet the experience.
No point talking.
No, that's done. That's immaterial. But
Yeah.
a lot of the current batters will struggle with
I know
that.
we're all
Thoda sa
struggling with the
idhar udhar.
nostalgia, but we just need to accept it now.
That's done. Dusted.
Yeah.
Southsburger 1809 sent a comment yesterday. He said there was absolutely no need to change Rohit's captaincy and change the rhythm in the team.
I mean, there was proof enough of it considering the last ODI he's ever captained happened to be an ICC final, which he
Yeah.
then won. So, on what basis did you change the captain? This is like next level. This is like when, if Manchester United replaced Fergie after 1999. Like, you won the treble, mate, you're not doing much better, go. But he achieved so much more. There was so much more in the tank. You don't just give up just like that, right? You continue on. You don't break, you don't change, you don't fix what's not broken. This wasn't broken. In hindsight now, it's just seeming like a very bad decision. And even back then, I had double thoughts. I'm like, do you need to do this? If they're going to be playing, Rohit's probably one of the best white ball captains India's ever had. Do you want to make that change? Why do you want to make that change?
I was thinking how I'd be bringing United into the conversation today. I'm thankful to Shane because I just needed a reason to flex on the result this weekend.
No, I mean, as far as Rohit is concerned, I'm not saying it now. If you remember our programming, I had said even that time. For me, there was no doubt, and I'm saying even before Australia started, in my mind there was no doubt that Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli are integral part of the ODI team. They should have stayed. I'm not saying it now. I know Rohit's had a few disappointing knocks, but he was your best batter in Australia. It was 2 series ago. So again, I'm not going to be judging him after every series. I still maintain he and Virat, are bang on. I can't see 2 better batters than them sitting outside that I need to bring them, and so it's not fair on them. And that's why I said about the captaincy. See, I agree not agree, but I see the reason why they changed, because they're like, oh, we don't know whether Rohit will be available till 2027. It's a fair distance away. So let's get in a new captain so that if Rohit cannot make it, then our captain is ready. I think that was a fine, fair bit.
If there is a 2-time ICC winning title person around, he's going around the world, even in the US for that matter, and saying that he wants to play the 2027 World Cup. He's not done. That's his absolute only dream in cricket. What more proof do you want? He's getting runs with the bat. He's getting you to tournament finals.
I agree with. I'm not saying from Rohit's point of view. From my point of view also. I'm saying I am in agreement of having Rohit there and no business of him changing. I'm saying I can see what was the thought process behind. Not that I agree with that thought process. I'm saying why that call would have been taken. It wasn't like I've woken up today and I don't like Rohit's face and I've done it. No. The call was taken for a reason, and I see what the reason was, that maybe they thought 2027 is a bridge too far. We don't know whether he'll be fit enough to be playing there. And if we need to change a captain, we need to give him a year, 2 years to see if he's good enough. I think that I don't subscribe to that. I don't believe in that. I wouldn't have done it. But I'm saying I see what they were trying to do, and this is what was told to us. For me, it was a wrong decision, but I'm just saying what call they had taken and what the logic could have been behind that. But I guess for that, they should have had a conversation with Rohit Sharma and asked him if he's motivated enough or not. Because as I now know that they didn't have that conversation. They told him on the day when they were going to make that captaincy change that, listen, we have decided. Because the selectors, coach, all of them spoke, and then this decision was taken. He was just told, it was communicated to him. Clearly it wouldn't have gone down well with him. But my point is, what the situation is now, that assuming he ends up playing the 2027 World Cup, and I see good chances of that happening. Imagine you're playing the World Cup with arguably the best white ball captain on the planet, but he's not captaining. What a waste of resource. What a waste of a resource. And I know people might say, oh, he can always help out. It's never the same thing. Giving a suggestion or 2 here and there doesn't amount to being captain. Captain is a 24/7 job that includes from, sitting together in squad selection to playing 11s to, calls taken every ball, every over. At best you go for a, sort of a help twice in a match, thrice in a match, but he has to take 150 decisions in a match, and that the captain is not taking, which is why I'm saying that would be a travesty.
Rohit has some bad luck when it comes to being dropped as a captain, not just with India but at Mumbai Indians also. He wasn't part of the decision. That was a call taken entirely by the team owners.
Sure, and I agree that at certain point, see, that decision, obviously you can't leave it to the captain also, but I'm saying in Rohit's case, see, in MI, they took a call based on 2 factors. Okay, very different situation. One, MI didn't have a great season. And 2, Hardik, they wanted to bring back because he had won a title, and the only way he was coming back was captain.
And Rohit wasn't amongst the runs.
That's what I'm saying. So there was a reason there, right?
So there was more reason for MI, that I agree.
Absolutely.
Correct. But in this case, he's doing well, he's getting runs, he's there. So my point is, my only concern is, can he last till 2027, right? If that is a concern, and you can make your own call. at least have a word with him. First go and speak to him. Are you motivated enough? Do you see yourself playing 2027 World Cup? Yes, I do. I'm motivated enough. And then you can say, great, we like that. You're in it. But remember, you're on the wrong side of the 30s, so it won't be easy. So we'll be monitoring you. Every couple of series we'll review your performance. But since you say you're motivated, okay, let's carry on. That's the least you could have done.
And for the team man that Rohit Sharma is, he would have taken that in his stride.
Yeah.
You don't always look at some sort of accountability as criticism. All that conversation would have meant was, yes, Rohit, you've got to be just a little more accountable with age, everything. And you take that.
He's taken this into his stride, of being removed as captain and still turning
being
up
only
and
as a
playing,
performer.
and even playing domestic cricket to prove that he's serious about playing the 2027 World Cup.
There is this Rohit Sharma situation, that English idiom just sums it the best. Don't try and fix something that's not broken. There's no better way of explaining the situation.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mukesh Singh had a comment. He said, missing Shami, a proven match winner. Please solve the mystery of...
I mean, we discussed it or touched upon it yesterday also, but it's the same thing. And at this point in time, the only reason I can see that why Shami is out is because he spoke out against the management. That's the only reason.
Fitness.
Come on, he's been fit. He's been playing. He's played all 3 formats for Bengal.
Yeah.
There's no fitness issue anymore. I don't think there's a fitness issue.
No. How can it be a fitness issue? He's playing red ball cricket, bowling 20
I'm saying
overs.
the time that
he's playing 10 overs in white ball cricket. He's playing 4 overs.
And he's playing 20 plus overs in Ranji.
That's what I'm saying. All different formats he's been...
Speaking
going.
out against was all that fitness saga, right?
Yeah, the fitness saga.
So by the way, you talk about him speaking out. What did he say in that? He was asked that, you're not in the team. So he says, I don't know, you tell me why I'm not in the team. Then he was said, because they have said that you're not fit enough or whatever, or they have no clarity on your fitness. So he said, is it my job to go tell everyone I'm fit? No. They have to find out now whether I'm fit or not. In a way, he was right. He is not going to be carrying his fitness certificate or proving his fitness and telling everyone. He said, I don't know who do I have to tell. If somebody has a doubt about my fitness, there is an NCA, there is everything I'm playing. You can check with the relevant thing. That's all he said.
Yeah.
Did he say anything wrong?
He didn't. We actually didn't.
And the system is in place which gives, physical update about every player. And that is when it's an off season. Right now, though, it's peak season. In different formats, he's playing only. Forget the selectors. You and I sitting here know his fitness status.
Exactly.
I don't even need the NCA experts to tell me. If somebody is bowling the required quota of overs every day, day in and day out, for multiple matches, not one, match just for courtesy's sake.
And
what else do I need?
And is giving me Instagram proof
On a
every couple of days.
Instagram proof, though, Riyan Parag is also giving. He's not gotten back into the team.
He won't watch this year's World Cup also, then? He won't.
So another podcast coming up.
We should try getting him.
So why is Shami not in the team?
Because he spoke out against the people in power.
But okay, my point is, fine, if I was to assume, firstly we've established that that's not the reason. He was dropped even before that. He was not being picked before he spoke out. Why?
That I find mysterious.
I think because somewhere
he only spoke out because he had been consistently been ignored.
You had sort of made up your mind that you wanted to go beyond him. Why? I don't know.
I'll tell you why. Your IPL performances last year.
The only thing that comes to my mind is...
What has that got to do with
Exactly. This is where you'd made up your mind.
Goat he is.
That's why your muddled perspectives come into play, no?
Is it a fair assessment that in ODI cricket alone, last 3 years or so from that 2023 World Cup onwards, he's even been better than Jasprit Bumrah in ODI cricket?
I mean,
not in T20.
He didn't play much ODIs after that, but I remember that run in the World Cup.
Yeah.
That was something.
Bradman-esque.
Yeah, house on fire. You threw him the ball, and to quote a very colloquial thing that's said a lot on social media, bro didn't miss. He just did not miss.
If you are, we are playing gully cricket. one day, but not gully cricket. We are playing local white ball 50 over cricket. We are 3 captains, and captains get to pick the players.
Yeah.
So you are picking your ODI team, right? Local ODI team. The bowlers available to you are Harshit Rana, Arshdeep Singh, Mohammad Siraj, Mohammad Shami. 4 of them are standing. You pick like that, in your team. Who's your first choice?
Mohammad Shami, eyes closed. Eyes closed.
Yeah, I'll be tempted to go with Shami.
Hanji.
Has to be Shami.
Hanji.
Has to be Shami. It can't be anyone else. From those 4, the only person I am picking above Shami is Bumrah. The only bowler I will pick above Shami is Bumrah.
But Bumrah wasn't there.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
I'm saying, so those
Exactly.
4.
You know why I gave those names? These were your bowlers
Yeah,
in the
I know.
ODI series.
Exactly.
Now my point is, in today's scenario, if 4 of them are standing, we are picking our teams. Me as well. First choice bowler, Shami. Why? I go back to our discussion yesterday. What did I say? That the problem is that you do not have enough match-winning bowlers. Quite honestly, the one bowler who is actually a match-winning bowler is a Kuldeep Yadav. Unfortunately, Kuldeep Yadav had been a bit out of form. That's the only thing. But other than that, if you are a Mohammad Shami, I would say that's your second match-winning bowler. Form aside, he's the guy who can single-handedly on a given day win that. I don't think Siraj is that, especially after being dropped. He's making a comeback into the ODI setup. He's not the Siraj who could win you matches in ODI cricket yet. Arshdeep is still not that in ODI cricket. He's very good in T20, still not that in ODI cricket. Harshit is clearly not a finished product that can win you matches. He can pick you wickets here and they can't win you matches. Shami is the match winner.
You missed out one more bowler,
Kuldeep
which is
the
pretty.
match winner. And Jasprit Bumrah is the match winner.
Prasidh is another one. If I would pick him over a Prasidh too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of these bowlers,
All of them.
who would you pick? But wise men are not seeing it that way. 5 wise men haven't picked him.
In this case, we don't even need 3. We've got 5. We've got 2 more wise men, but no wise decisions.
I can't understand.
Which then brings us to what Syed, I'm assuming, was saying. Where is the accountability? Where is...
Ispania side.
Yeah, so I'm saying with Syed. I don't think Ispani is a...
I don't know. Spania side, whatever, is the handle.
I'll go with
Where
6015.
is the accountability is the question. And that takes me to the question. Has BCCI come out and said some statement?
Nothing.
We get to hear from some BCCI representative after everything.
Not even from anonymous
Why
sources.
not? Are they sleeping? What are they waiting for? They have a job to do, right? To run Indian cricket. You've lost second ODI series in the last 3 you've played. Why no statement that this is an area of concern, we are looking into it, or such and such date has been identified where we are calling the captain, the coach, selectors, and we are going to have a meeting to discuss India's recent loss. Why is that not happening?
Because I think the BCCI isn't that formal an organization as we are at times expected to be.
But it has been in the past.
Yeah, because
If they've taken a call on not to having one person for a press conference because it adds,
Because-
they're doing damage control, which they should. I completely agree. So they're doing that. Why not the same for
because whatever the BCCI do, seldom is there a process to it. More so, it's whimsical. Look at press releases for that matter. We touched upon press releases. Let's talk about press conferences as well. A certain coach does more press conferences, a certain coach doesn't do enough press conferences. At times, we've also seen those times not too far away from where we are right now, that the chief selector was nowhere to be seen for years. Those press conferences were always demanded, but they never happened.
They dried up.
Yeah, they never happened. Now they're happening all over again. So is there a set protocol? Absolutely not. In our office, there is an edit meeting that happens every day, right? We have our own meeting at 1 o'clock. So there are systems in place and we do that because this is the way we function. But does the BCCI function like that? Does the BCCI Are we to expect anything the next day after a youth series defeat? It didn't happen after New Zealand. It didn't happen after South Africa. Those were source-based reports that we ran about there being some sort of a review meeting that will happen.
Review meeting would have happened, something would have come
exactly.
out of it. Nothing's
So,
come
but
out. So
the
clearly no review
BCCI
meeting.
never on its own ever told the world that yes, there is a review meeting also happening.
No, they didn't say that about the review meeting after BGT as well. But
Yeah.
as soon as they had that meeting, you saw the result. Na? 5 things were put out. Na? Players can't have families for X number of
Play
days.
domestic.
14
Yeah,
days.
clear. You have to play domestic cricket. Certain players were removed because they were leaking news, so that was detrimental to the team's growth.
Proof of which was
Various
never
things.
given.
But I'm just saying, whatever.
There was something
whether
done,
they,
no?
They were at least proactive. Nah, you can agree, disagree with their steps. Maybe nothing has even come of it. Maybe the performance is also dipped. My point is, when there is a problem, you're supposed to address it. Not every time will you find a solution. You can't always be that efficient. You might falter, but at least let's see some intent. Know that you're serious about fixing that issue. Those 2 test series you lost, nothing has been done. Now you've lost 2 ODI series in the last 3, nothing has been done. What does that tell you? They couldn't care less. All they're worried about T20 World Cup ho jaye. Let's go and win that trophy. Forget everything.
Let's
Forget
get into
the
IPL
test.
after that.
IPL will happen. Done. Yeah. What is all this thing?
Celebration of cricket will
That's
happen.
Man ki marzi. That's what the BCCI's motto is. Maybe it's there and we just need a magnifying glass to see it. It's always underneath the BCCI logo.
I mean, if you remember, don't you remember there was that big talk about there being some sort of a meeting, emergency meeting on Rohit, Virat and stuff like that also. Nothing came of that either. So they've apparently forgotten how to do meetings.
Also, it's sad that, for the democracy that we live in, we forget that our own basic fundamental right is to hold people accountable. That to those in power, and it's true across spectrum, I would say, not just sport but otherwise as well. And sport very much falls within those rights that we have over here. It enables us to ask questions. If the BCCI is lax about something or is taking the fan for granted, as we were talking about the other day about the fan being taken for granted with the huge budget and poor facilities, talk about a dichotomy, talk about a paradox. Huge budgets, financial power, this and that, thousands of crores, 45,000 crores will be IPL. 400 rupees you will have to pay for a basic pizza, which will be made out of whatever 10-day-old cheese you don't even want to have. So that is the state of affairs. Broken chairs, bird poop and this and that, what not. That's the state of affairs. So and we still don't question enough. We still don't question enough. Exactly. So we're waiting for what, 2 group stage exits, and then suddenly there'll be an uprising somewhere in some corner of the country, and then everyone will be like, okay, BCCI, what are you doing? This and that. Are we waiting for that time?
We always wait.
Why
for that
can
time.
we not set a high benchmark for ourselves?
And why does BCCI have to wait for anything? Do your job. That's
Exactly.
your
You're
job.
the richest cricket board in the world.
Fix
Exactly.
the issue.
It's so easy to fix if you want to, but you don't want to. Shiva Doka says, can't understand the obsession with Gambhir. Coach doesn't play in the field. We lost because Rohit, Shreyas and KL Rahul didn't score. Needed one of them to contribute. Shiva, I
But
take
we
your
lost
point.
2 series, no? Now.
Haan.
And that series, to Rohit was scoring runs. Na? A lot of games, the game that you won, the second one, KL Rahul, I mean, you lost that game where he got a 100 as well. But he has been getting your runs. We've shown you stats where they have been performing. These guys can't perform every match. Na? So where are the other people who has Rohit Sharma won us matches in the recent past? Yes, he has. Has Shreyas Iyer won us matches in the last 2-3 years in ODI cricket? Yes, he has. Has KL Rahul? Yes, they have.
Also, you have to understand one thing, and this is really where it comes down to it, Shiva. If you become the projected public face, 90% of the scrutiny is going to come on you. Why is it that when Virat was captain or when Rohit was captain, every conversation revolved around what is the captain doing? How can the captain fix this? As opposed to now, when every conversation is, what can the head coach do? How is the head coach going to fix this? Understand.
Vidyut Kumar Ganguly
says that Gill was made the captain in a hurry, nor is he an automatic choice to open. As players, Gill and Jaiswal are on the same plane. T20 team will bring more dishonor. Suryakumar Yadav is not a worthy batter, far less a captain material. Who backs Prasidh Jadeja Iyer. My favorite, Rohit, should call himself off.
Basically saying Rohit should just call it quits.
Call it quits, yeah.
I mean, to answer some of the, I think I'm not in agreement with your T20 assessment. I think your Indian T20 team is, amongst all the three formats right now, your T20 team is
The most sorted.
Yeah, they are the best T20 team in the world, you like it or not. Doesn't mean they'll win the T20 World Cup. Not
But they are
necessarily
the
does the best team that goes on to win, but you'll start as the favorite. I can be 100% sure of that. You start as the favorite. So that is the least of your problem.
I will agree with one thing where he said that Gill was made a captain in a hurry.
Yes.
You rushed to fix
I
something
agree.
that wasn't broken.
Completely agree.
And that's not Gill's fault, by the way. That is that's jumping the gun on the front of the BCCI.
But that will sadly become the cross he has to bear.
Yeah, exactly. That's the unfortunate bit. Gill has to bear all the criticism right now. You know, we've heard it from IPL teams and otherwise as well. Yes, every player has ambitions, and certain times those ambitions, if the environment is good, does get conveyed. If Gill also expressed that in that ambition at some point, you'll take that. But that doesn't mean that Gill is wrong in expressing that ambition. Sure enough, he would have wanted to be the captain at some point. But even right now, I doubt if Gill would have gone and said, knowing that how well Rohit's been doing, how well how good the trajectory for the Indian ODI team has been, how would you, as somebody who started playing under Rohit, then even think of it? If there was a landslide or something and you thought this was the right time, you won a big tournament, still not going something, then you can probably think of it. But right now, I doubt if this came from Gill. This has to be coming from the BCCI.
No, Gill can't be.
Yeah,
not a chance.
I'm not, but so again, it's the people who took that call, whether they were the selectors in consultation with the coach or the BCCI, whoever.
Premature.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Rajat Agarwal now says that India are losing because of spin, an inability to play it and an inability to bowl it. See how much turn, loop, revs other countries' players are getting, and ours have become dutters.
I'll tell you why, Rajat. It's a good point, but it's also primarily because you're not really selecting your best spinners. You are selecting your fast bowlers if they can bat. You're selecting your spinners if they can bat. You're looking at that. You're not looking at their ability.
Yeah.
Your one out and out spinner in ODI cricket is Kuldeep Yadav. That's the one. He didn't have a great time, but he's still at least getting picked because of his spinning ability. Everyone else, you're ready to, look at it. And also, I think a lot of this has gone out of fashion because of T20 cricket. That loop, guile and everything that you need to. But I have to agree that, someone like a Glenn Phillips also,
Yeah.
Simon Harmer.
Yeah.
Look how he was doing basics right by tossing it up at times, mixing up his lengths, mixing up the loop, mixing up the revs. Those are such basics that you remember. I think any domestic spinner from the 80s, 90s, even early 2000s, if you picked them up, they could do those things eyes closed. How many are doing that now?
But then you pick people who are genuine spinners. No, pick a Shahbaz, not a Ayush Badoni then.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you're not doing that.
Exactly.
Mr. Daniel. Nick, sir, I'm very disappointed by the comments Mary Kom made against her husband on a news channel. And Harshit, never get married, my friend. It's a trap.
Is this Siddharth Vishwanathan's burner account?
Could be. But on that subject, I know those are
very ugly things being said.
But as I said, that's washing their dirty linen in public.
Yeah.
Tends to happen when things go south. So less said the better. No taking sides. That's the last thing you should do. Don't take sides. So there's always his story, her story, and the truth.
Pushpavati is once again saying that you people don't want NKR in the 11, right? So please make anyone from the top 5 bowl 6 quality overs. Then NKR won't be considered. If in yesterday's game against New Zealand, Bracewell got injured and an all-rounder covered it up.
Correct. But that was on a rare day, na?
Also the all-rounder who covered up was Glenn Phillips, who can actually bowl quality spin. I don't consider Nitish a pace bowler at this point in time. He's a Darryl Mitchell level pace bowler who'll maybe bowl you a couple of overs here or there, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Then you've got Bhupendra, who says that one question to be raised. After Virat, 2 generations have come, but still we're dependent on Virat to chase 300 and more runs. Before start of the match, everyone said Virat has to stay till end, danger situation. No, I said it. I said exactly the same thing. I said exactly the same thing, that you are only chasing down those runs if you had Virat. And Virat right now is a twilight batter. So what does that tell you? He's very much in the twilight of his career. Let's be very fair. So you're right. What does that tell you about the two generations who have come after him? The Shreyas Iyer KLR era and now the Shubman Gill era.
Yeah.
They're all just less said the better.
Next one, we've taken Bhupendra, right?
Yeah, we just took Bhupendra.
Yeah. Ashish Dhar says, Gill casual as captain thinks Roko sab sambhal lenge.
I mean, I don't think he's casual as captain.
Yeah, I doubt if
but
that's
I do think that at this point in time, it's not just the captain. I do feel like the ethos in ODIs in general seems to be that.
Yeah.
That okay, if these two are there, they'll get the job done, and then we have everyone else. What's there to worry? Which is worrying.
Yeah.
It's actually worrying.
Yeah.
And Pushpavati is back again saying that NKR will be selected in every series, but you people are speaking opposite. 6 bowling is necessary. He let him get developed. You people want batsmen to be selected. No, it's not about wanting batters to be selected. You don't understand. I am perfectly fine with having 6 bowling options. In fact, I do think I agree with you that you need 6 bowling options. But if you don't have the players to make that happen, then why not trust a specialist?
Yeah.
And NKR, if he has to develop, it has to be developing first at the domestic level. Even at the domestic level,
There are also people tend to forget your phenomenal run to the final came because of specialists.
correct.
There was a specialist in Shami, by the way, picking wickets for you. There was a specialist in Bumrah picking wickets for you. There were specialist batters. Yes, you had a Hardik Pandya, but after a point he was gone. And you needed a specialist bowler and a specialist batter. Guess you'll come out with your knives if I call Suryakumar Yadav a specialist
ODI batter. But he did get that
But-
50 against England.
Yeah, technically he came in as a batter.
Technically, he did.
Yeah.
Ashish Dhar once again saying that Shami's fortunes took a beating once he was released from GT. Yeah, he also had that major injury layoff, I remember. He had that
Yeah.
major injury layoff prior to 2025, so that didn't help him either. He's
Yes.
always had those bad runs because I
Injury,
remember
yeah.
he couldn't play the BGT and there was a lot of talk about he let him play 1 game, 2 games.
Yeah.
Eventually, he was deemed not fit.
Exactly.
And that unfitness or lack of fitness carried into the IPL, where I remember he was bowling in the mid 120s. That's not Shami.
Yeah.
Steve Ticcolo is back. Says, pull out Shreyas Iyer's numbers when we are in a 20 for 2 position versus a 100 versus 2 position, 100 for 2 position.
Okay.
As far as I know, he's always part of a collapse, but scores big when the start is really good.
Very interesting what he says, Steve.
Yeah.
Very interesting. No, we'll do that. We'll definitely do that.
Exactly. Steve Ticcolo says that Shane said a Vipraj or Digvesh can't be brought on 1 IPL season. Gentle reminder, Harshit Rana was brought in T20s ODIs test based on 1 IPL season. KKR bias apparent. Bhai, let me make one thing very clear. I didn't advocate for Harshit to be selected.
Yeah.
I do agree with you that yes, the shortcut which was there and the reason he was selected was very clear. That is true. That doesn't make what I said about Vipraj and Digvesh wrong. Neither for a Zishan Ansari either. Sorry, I don't like selecting players of 1 IPL season. And if you can go back in time and say this, I was against even picking an Umran Malik, and hindsight proved me right.
Yeah.
One good IPL season he had in 2022, and people were like, oh, all format. I said, boss, you have to wait. And what happened? Same thing happens to a Mayank Yadav.
Mayank, exactly.
One good season and like, oh, all format, bro's not even being fit. That's the thing. Vaishak now is saying that why are our bowlers walking wickets? The reason a number 8 is important. I agree. That's why you need depth in batting also, because 9, 10, 11 are walking wickets. You don't have a Stark or Cummins type to call upon. You just don't. Okay, let's see. We have any more? No?
Done are we?
We can take a couple from
We
here.
can take a couple more.
Hmm.
Silly Point, what was he saying? I think it's gone down. Silly Point says that Shreyas should be thankful that we don't play as many overseas ODIs as we used to in pre-COVID era. Otherwise, his ODI career would have also been done and dusted by now. Pathetic against Pacers.
His record.
I don't fully agree though.
But we'll have to check his record overseas.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, we can look at that.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, your Champions Trophy of last year was also overseas. Technically, it's not the overseas you would want it to be, I agree. But you used the word overseas, so I'm just sticking with that.
If they had to go to Pakistan, Shreyas would have thrived.
But see, he's one of your quality batters. There's nothing that changes that. Nothing at all.
Yeah. Scroll down. There's one more from Karthik where he says that we don't bowl out oppositions often. Sums up our bowlers. You know, the last time we were bowling out oppositions when you had Shami in the team.
World Cup.
Yeah. Not a coincidence. Because then you had multiple bowlers who could get you wickets. Bumrah, Siraj, Shami, Kuldeep. Tells you everything. Tells you everything.
Anyway, I think we're done.
Yeah, let's call it a day.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us on this edition of the Dugout, the fan dugout as we'd probably call it, because it was all centered around your thoughts, your comments. There were a lot of them yesterday, and I understand it. The frustration was at an all-time high.
Yeah. Also, what happened yesterday did call for a lot of thoughts.
Soul searching.
There's only so much soul searching we can do. That has to happen, I think, in Mumbai first, and then maybe other areas. Who knows?
Absolutely.
But with that, we come to an end of our first edition of this week, the Dugout. We'll be back tomorrow. Remember, we're all building up to so much actually in store this week. There's the start of the T20 series, but on the very day that it begins, expect there to be something
Fireworks.
much more entertaining. And that's, of course, with the deadline looming for Bangladesh to decide whether they want to come and play in India. Otherwise, first time we'll see ICC go ahead and name a replacement team.
Booting a team out. Ooh.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much. We loved spending the last hour or so with you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, watch some of the other things that we've already uploaded across platforms. Some of you don't actually end up following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Please go ahead, do that. Spread your love across platforms, and we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, good night, Nandri, Shubh Ratri, Shabba Khair, eat your vegetables.
Don't trouble your mother and subscribe to Sports Today.